This is the most enjoyable monster I've ever seen. Even the farts are so handsome. And then the fish came up. I woke up in the morning with an itch in one part of Shrek. Pull the tap. And then a mud bath. And rinse your mouth. It's a great life. And then brush your teeth. This toothpaste is Bug brand, right? And then look in the mirror. Who is this? He's so handsome. The mirror is cracking. His name is Shrek. He lived alone in the deep forest. But one day the humans tried to get rid of him.
Hey! I say your name, but you're not.
One day a donkey came to the place, and with a cheeky face he spoke his mind.
I stay with you. Of course. No.
The donkey pleaded with a snotty nose and a tear, so Shrek agreed, but only to stay outside the door. To do if you want to have a candlelit dinner at night. Take out an earwax and squeeze it into a candle. Then we start eating. At this point the donkey outside the door is talking non-stop. It turns out that his previous owner didn't like him as a chatterbox, so he was ready to be sold. But then he was accidentally hit by a magic bottle and flew up. So he flew to Shrek's house. At that moment Shrek noticed that there were a lot of people at the door. They were all characters from fairy tales. Shrek went back to his room and saw that the mother wolf had gotten under his blanket. The 7 dwarfs had brought Snow White with them. It turned out that the king who was about to inherit the throne had driven them into the forest. The peace and quiet was shattered. Shrek was so angry that he went to the king to argue with him. The next day, when he arrived in town, the donkey tripped over the security gate. When the soldiers saw them, they said they wanted to catch the monster. Shrek was so angry that he knocked them all down. But then the king made a request. He asked him to go to a tower and rescue the princess. So Shrek and Donkey went to the castle where the princess was being held. And then a green eye was fixed on them. Fire dragon catches a donkey. The donkey, whose life is on the line, shows his chattering instincts. He complimented the fire dragon on his beautiful face and white teeth. The dragon couldn't stand the charming words. He was immediately dazzled by the compliment. And then he took the donkey to the ground. At that moment Shrek grabbed the tail of the dragon. But the next moment the dragon swung its tail. Shrek was accidentally thrown into the princess' bedroom. The princess thought that all those who came to her rescue were handsome princes, so she imagined that he would wake her up with a romantic kiss. But then Shrek shook her hard. Shrek rushed to grab the princess and run away, and to rescue the chatty donkey. But when he pushed open the door, he was shocked. The donkey and the fire dragon were having a love affair, and they were kissing. But Shrek came down from the sky. The dragon kissed Shrek on the butt. The dragon was instantly pissed off when he saw it wasn't the donkey. Shrek took the opportunity to put a game lock on the dragon. Then he grabbed the donkey and the princess and ran outside, down the pillar. The 3 of them climbed onto the suspension bridge, but the bridge was broken by the fire of the dragon. In the nick of time, Shrek grabbed Donkey by the tail. The dragon was devastated when he saw that they had taken his beloved one. At this point, the princess looks forward to seeing what the prince who saved her looks like. Shrek says his hair is too messy to take off. Shrek takes off his helmet. Oh my god. The princess was so disappointed. She was so angry she wouldn't go. Shrek doesn't care. He picks up the princess and heads back. On the way, he encountered a group of bandits. The princess did a double backflip. She came up to the bandits and slapped them in the face. And then she knocked the bandits down with a couple of strokes. Shrek and Donkey were amazed by this action. On the way, Shrek was kind enough to build a bridge for the princess. He also grabbed a frog and blew up a balloon for the princess. In return, the princess grabbed a viper and made her a balloon, and then she made Shrek a marshmallow out of a spider's web. They talked more and more happily until the sun went down, but the donkey found out his secret. Could be the ugliest princess you've ever seen. By day she looks like this, and at night she looks like this. It turns out the princess is under a curse. She needs to find her true love's kiss to lift the curse. But Donkey thinks Shrek is the princess's true love. But the princess didn't think he would like such an ugly princess. Outside the door, Shrek was about to confess his love when he heard it. He thought the princess was calling him an ugly monster, so he went away in silence. In the morning the sun rose and the princess was beautiful again. Then the Duke came to marry the princess, and he asked her to marry him. So they rode off on their white horses. Shrek and the donkey went back to their place, but Donkey kept encouraging Shrek to find his true love, the princess. It turned out that Donkey had secretly subdued the fire dragon, but what would their child be called? The two rode the dragon to find the princess. Just as they were about to kiss, Shrek came running in. The sudden appearance of the monster frightened everyone, but the princess was very happy at the moment, and Shrek exposes the Duke's plot on the spot. The Duke had only married the princess so that he could become king. As the sun sets, the princess was transformed into a monster just like Shrek. At this point, the Duke orders his men to capture the two monsters.
Finding. That makes me king! See?
In the nick of time, the fire dragon broke through the window and swallowed the dwarf Duke in one gulp. The donkey then shouted in triumph, "I'll be angry any minute." With the help of the donkey, Shrek confessed his love. This was the kiss of true love. And then there was a flash of golden light, and the princess was released from her curse, but the princess was still a monster. Shrek said "I love you" in all your forms. Then the two of them walked happily to the wedding hall, and the fairy conjured up a pumpkin carriage. Then the princess threw her bouquet. Cinderella and Snow White fought for the bouquet, but the fire dragon got it and gave it to the donkey. And then Shrek and the princess lived happily ever after. In today's new age, it's not always Prince Charming who marries a princess. It could also be a monster.